Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. There is a fix in progress for the VA shortfall. For those that aren't aware, there is kind of a two-piece budget shortfall equating to $15 billion, 2.9 for this fiscal year and $13 billion for next year. Now, if Congress does not act for this fiscal year's portion of $2.9 billion by September 20th, there's a potential, albeit small, that the VA will be delayed in making benefit payments. Whose benefits, what portions, how all that works, not sure. Just information that they're pushing out. So, with that being said, the headline here is House Republicans lead $3 billion VA supplement to fix year-end budget shortfall. That's the headline. Let's dive into it, see what's going on. And look, nothing will get done if we don't show our elected officials that we actually care and are aware and paying attention, right? So shooting off an email, making a phone call, leaving a voicemail, stopping by your district office for your congressional member are all good things to do in this circumstance. So here we go. VA officials told Congress about the $15 billion total budget shortfall in July. Lawmakers say it's the largest funding gap in the department's history. Let's dive into this, see what's going on. Hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Every minute watched helps the video extend its reach. And if you want to support the channel in other ways, consider being a member. You can do that by going to the home page, and you will see the highlighted members and a join button there. Thank you to all you members. All right, jumping back into it. This is on Federal News Network, is where I found this, and sharing it with you here today. House Republicans are leading a supplemental funding bill to address a multi-billion-dollar budget crunch at the Department of Veterans Affairs. Leaders of the House Appropriations and House VA committees introduced a bill Friday that would give the VA $3 billion to ensure the department can keep paying benefits to veterans for the rest of the fiscal year. All right, so moving on. It states here that the emergency funding bill, however, does not address the $12 billion shortfall for the next fiscal year that the VA anticipates. The VA gets funding for its mandatory health and benefits programs a year before the current fiscal year to avoid any disruptions in a government shutdown. Moving on, the VA had officials that spoke with Congress about the $15 billion total budget shortfall in July, and lawmakers say that this is the largest funding gap that they've seen ever in the department's history. House Republicans are frustrated with VA leaders notifying them about the budget crunch a few months after submitting their fiscal 2025 budget request and appearing before both committees to explain their budget needs. House Appropriations Committee Chairman Tom Cole called the VA's $15 billion budget shortfall a glaring failure that reflects a grave departure from their budget submission provided mere months ago. So in other words, you submitted a budget a couple months ago, and now this is way out of the water. How could you be this far off in just a 2-month time frame? And I tend to agree, because you have the ability to know how many claims are coming in, average time frame of claims, average award amount, all of that type of stuff, average back pay. You can figure all of that out, and it shouldn't really change that much from a 2-month period. Moving on, our heroes deserve more than this incompetence. Through this bill, we ensure that promised benefits remain secure and enact needed oversight to guarantee full accountability and transparency, Cole said in a statement. House VA Committee Chairman Mike Bose said the VA's budget is serious business that has a real impact on veterans' lives. The administration has embarrassed themselves with how poorly they have mismanaged and run VA's budget into the ground, resulting in a $15 billion shortfall, Bose said. So obviously there's going to be political fever in all of this stuff because we're in an election year. Moving on. Here's my deal. the VA leadership needs to be strong, regardless of what political party is in office and who they're appointed by. We need strong, competent leadership at the VA that does the right thing for the right reasons for all veterans and survivors and spouses and dependents and so forth. All right, moving on. Let's see. The House Appropriations Committee member Mike Garcia, Judge Carter, and David Valado, not quite sure, and I had something pop up at the same time, are also leading the VA supplemental bill. The supplemental spending bill would require the VA to give Congress regular updates on the status of funds needed to pay veterans benefits until the end of fiscal 2026. The bill would also require the VA's Inspector General Office to issue a report on the root cause of the VA's budget shortfall. The VA officials say the department is delivering record levels of health care and benefits to veterans under the PACT Act, which expand veterans' eligibility for VA health care and benefits if they were exposed to toxic substances during their military service. About 740,000 veterans have enrolled in VA health care since the PACT Act was signed. That's about 33% increase over the previous 2 years before the PACT Act was signed into law. Increased hiring, Boast says, increased hiring and pharmaceutical costs above all are contributing to the VA's budget predicament. The VA hired more than 61,000 healthcare workers in fiscal 2023. The Veterans Health Administration has more than 400,000 total employees, its largest workforce so far. The VA, in its fiscal year 2025 budget request, planned to reduce its workforce headcount by 10,000 employees, with most of these jobs coming from the VHA, the Health Administration. However, Boast said in July that the VHA is now looking at staffing increase of 22,000 full-time employees over the same period of time. About 17,000 employees, he added, have already been hired at VHA is looking to hire, and VHA is looking to hire another 5,000 employees. VA Press Secretary Terrence Hayes told reporters in July that the department is working closely with Congress and the Office of Management and Budget to resolve these potential shortfalls in a way that prevents any adverse impacts on veterans and allows us to continue to deliver care and benefits to veterans at record rates. And so that concludes it. But there's work in progress. The Congress is back, I believe, in action now, and basically we got 10 days to make something happen. So with that, the one call to action would be just reach out. Look, whether it's going to happen or not, here's kind of the collateral effects in a way anyway, or cascading effects. Reaching out to your congressional office, your district office, and letting them know that, hey, look, you're aware as a constituent that the VA is not funded appropriately, and we need to fix that, both for this fiscal year and next fiscal year. And you hope that congressman or congresswoman so-and-so is on board with fixing the problem. So even if that doesn't need to happen in order to actually get the budget fixed, that's sure. But what it does is it shows that congressional office and that congressional member that you're paying attention. And when I say you, I actually mean as many of us as possible in each of these districts, right? So if you had 150, 200, 300, 1,000 veterans calling, emailing with that same type of a message, then you had the spouses or survivors or dependents that are of voting age reaching out saying the same thing. That congressional office is going to realize that veterans in that district are a driving force of their existence, if you know what I mean. Everybody's a vote away from being in or out. So they're going to pander, because it's political, to the groups that can get them elected and reelected. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.